Hello and welcome. In this video, I want to talk about how to get started working with the Python web automation with the Selenium. So let's get started. At the beginning, let's talk about what is the Selenium web driver. So if I want to talk about the Selenium, it needs a lot of time to talk about all of the applications and the usages of the Selenium. But if we want to summarize all of the usages, I can say that the Selenium package is used to automate web browser interaction from the Python. Suppose I want to execute some operations using the web browser, something like searching some words inside the Bing or the Google, or logging in inside my account in the Twitter or LinkedIn or the Google and search everything that I have, something like the new messages or the job requests and so on. So we can use the Selenium to manage all of these operations, and we can use it to automate everything that I need inside my browser. To do that, we can easily install the Selenium inside the Python and automate my jobs and anything that I want using the web browsers. So we can say that the Selenium package is used to automate web browser interaction from the Python. And it is available for the different web browsers like the Firefox, Chrome, Edge, and Safari. And after that, let's talk about the applications of the Selenium. We can easily use it for automating the browser interactions, as I told you. Also, we can use it for automating the boring web-based admin tasks. Suppose we are the admin of the website and we want to check and test the new version of the website. Then we need to do all of the boring steps and the boring jobs and the boring tests manually, and it's not really a great idea to do that. For solving this problem, we can automate anything that I need to test using the Selenium. So we can use the Selenium for automating the web applications for testing purposes. Indeed, one of the most important and the most common usages of the Selenium is automating the web application for the test purposes. For instance, after releasing the new version of the website like the Facebook or the Google or even the LinkedIn, the designers and the programmers need to test the new version of the website if it's working or not, and test everything with a lot of data. Then we can easily use the Selenium with the database and load the data inside that and create multiple user accounts and so on. And finally, we can use the Selenium for controlling the web browsers using the Python application. For instance, suppose I'm inside the freelancers websites like the Upworks or the freelancer.com. Then I want to check my available job offers every day. It's not really great idea checking these one by one every day. Instead of that, we can create the simple application using the Python and the Selenium. Then check my daily offers easily and quickly using the automatic application by the Selenium and the Python. So this was the quick tour about the Selenium and its usages. In the next step, let's talk about the structure of the Selenium in the Python. Here I have the structure. At the beginning I have the Python, then I have the Selenium that's installed inside the Python. Also I have all of these browsers. Indeed, I don't need to install all of this, and I can easily work with one or more of these browsers. But what about my favorite one is the Google Chrome. So for connecting the Selenium and the Python to the web browsers, we need another component and the connector, and it is the web driver. So the web driver is the connector between the Selenium and the Python and the browsers themselves. So by the web driver, we can easily connect to the web browser and do anything that we want. As the result, you can say the web driver is a separate file. That's the Selenium used to control the browser. And indeed, it is the controller or the connector of the web browsers. Okay, excellent. Congratulations. So far, we learned about the Selenium, its usages, and the structure. And in the next step, I want to talk about how we can get this up working with the Selenium in the Python. I have the good news for you, and it is that working with the Selenium in the Python is really simple and straightforward. The only thing we need is installing the Selenium itself and also the WebDriver. In my upcoming tutorial, I'll talk about how to get this up working with the Selenium and the web browser like the Google Chrome. So everything is ready for us. It's time consuming, so let's talk about it in the next part. Stay with me. Hey everybody, welcome back. In this video, I want to talk about how to get it start working with the Selenium in the Python by creating the project in the Python. Later in my upcoming tutorial, I'll talk about how to easily install the Selenium for the Python, then how to install the WebDriver for the Chrome. And after learning all of these, I'll talk about how to load the title and the URL in the Python, and also all the advanced topics. So let's get started working with the first step, and it is creating the new project. So let's say hello PyCharm, what's up? This is my PyCharm, and come to the new project. You can continue your previous project. So this is the Selenium, and also I have the new environment, and personally I prefer to use the virtual environment, and it means everything will be copied inside the project folder. So this is my project folder, and it is inside the drive C up to here, and I have the VENV or virtual environment folder inside the project folder, indeed inside this. Then everything and every packages will be copied inside that. And the next one is the interpreter or the Python version. So if I click on this, I have two available versions, the older and the newer one. So let's select the newer one. And the next one is, do you want to add any available and the pre-existing packages to your project? So I don't want to do that, uncheck this. And do you want to make it available for all the projects? No, I don't want to do that. So uncheck both of this. And let's check the name and everything, and let's create the project. So this is. Welcome back. This is my project that is created and everything is ready for me. Before doing anything, let's take a quick look at the structure. As I mentioned previously, if you want to work with the Selenium, you need to install the Selenium itself for the Python, then the WebDriver. So let's get started working with the Selenium. It's really simple and it's straightforward. If I take a look, we can use the pip and say pip install the Selenium. Also, we can check if the Selenium is working and also is installed successfully using the import method later. So let's get started working with the Selenium installation. If I take a look at the Google and open up my browser over here and get inside the pip.org and search the Selenium. At the top, I have the Selenium version 4. Maybe in the future you can see all the versions, no matter, and don't worry about anything. And the release date. So if I click on the first one and get inside the official web page, at the top I have the code of the pip for installing the Selenium. We can easily use this one, and also I have the version information over here. Then I have more information, the documentation and all of this for working with the Selenium itself. And also the installation method, drivers, and if I take a look, I have the drivers over here. I'll talk about this in the next part, so don't worry about anything. At the first step, let's install it using the pip. Come to this pip, install Selenium, copy. Come to the Selenium and get inside the terminal and paste over here. So this is. Now I have the pip installed in the Selenium. Also, you can use the Python packages. Come to this, click on this one, and say Selenium. Selenium, and we have the Selenium over here. And don't forget, if you got something like this, the request failed, first check your internet connection, then turn off any proxy or the VPN applications. Then try it one more time. So it's done, and I can get access to my website and the information over here. And also the latest version, you can see it over here. And you can easily click on the install and install the Selenium on your project easily and quickly. Also, we have another method. Come to the file, then the settings. And currently my project name is Selenium, so this is, and come to the Selenium, project Selenium, click on this, come to the interpreter. Currently I have up to 3 pre-installed and pre-added packages. Come to the add, and over here write the Selenium. So this is, now click on this and the version. So this is the last method for installing the Selenium inside your project. To do that, get inside this button and click on the install package. But personally, I prefer to use the pip for installing the packages. Come to the terminal and copy the pip install Selenium and press enter. For the first time, installation process is really time consuming and may take up to a couple of minutes. But after the first installation, for the later using, you can install it quickly because of the cached folders and the files. Okay, excellent, congratulations. Now the component is installed. And if I take a look at my pip and say the pip for instance, then say the list, so press enter. And after a couple of seconds, I have the new components that are installed inside my project, and you can see the Selenium over here. And also if I come to the file and get inside the settings and the settings of my Selenium project, and here I have all of these available and installed packages after installing the Selenium. And so you can see the Selenium itself over here, and it means everything is ready for me. But to be sure that I have successfully installed the Selenium, we can use the import method. To do that, come over here and get inside the project and come to this one, right click on that, come to the new and the Python file and name it Hi Selenium for instance. So this is Hi Selenium and press enter. Now my file is added over here and I can easily say import. So this is the most common keyword in the Python. Import what? Import the Selenium. So this is the Selenium, the lowercase at dot, and which object? The WebDriver. So this is the WebDriver because as I mentioned, the WebDriver is responsible for connecting the Selenium to the web browsers and the functionalities of them. So the WebDriver is the class or the codes inside the Selenium to use the actual WebDriver and also all of the capabilities and the features of the browsers. So let's get inside my project, and this is, and I can easily add the name, for instance, the Selenium or SL, something like this. Now if I right click over here and run, so after a couple of seconds, I got this message, process finished, with the exit code 0. Exit code 0 means that everything is working perfectly without any errors or the problem. And finally, it means that I have successfully installed the Selenium on my project in the Python. Okay, excellent. Everything is done. Now I have successfully installed the Selenium on my Python project. And what about the next step? In the next step, I need to install the WebDriver. As I mentioned, we have something like this that is the separate file that we need to download and install it. It's time consuming, so stay with me. Now, certainly go ahead and start downloading and installing the Selenium for your project. And stay with me with my amazing upcoming tutorial. Thanks for your time. Hello and welcome. In this video, I want to talk about how to easily get it start working with the WebDriver and download and install it for the Chrome and the Edge web browsers. So let's do it. Previously, I talked about how to download and install the Selenium in the Python. And as I told you, if you wanna work with the Selenium in the Python, we need to install the WebDriver. The WebDriver is the connector between the Selenium and the web browsers like the Opera, the Chrome, the Firefox, the Edge, and also the Safari. So in the second step, we need to download and install the WebDriver after installing the Selenium itself. Fortunately, for each web browser, we have the dedicated and a specific web driver. So we can easily download them from the Google and install it inside the project or outside that. So let's get start working with it. As you see over here, I have up to 5 different available links for downloading the WebDriver. The first one is the WebDriver of the Chrome, the Edge, the Firefox, the Safari, and the Opera. The engine behind the Chrome, the Edge, and the Opera are based on the Chromium. So the Chrome, the Edge, and the Opera have the same engine, and it is the Chromium. And also we have the Firefox and the Safari with other and dedicated engines. So if I take a look at the Google and inside the PyPy and search the Selenium and find the Selenium itself. First I talk about this matter and get inside the official website and the web page of the Selenium. At the bottom over here, we have something like this, the Chrome, the Edge, Firefox, and Safari. So by using these links, we can easily download and install the WebDriver for the available browsers. Let's get started working with the Chrome and the Edge. If I take a look at the Chrome WebDriver, so this is the official web page for downloading it. As you see over here, I have the different versions, 96, 95, and 94. So we need to get the version of the currently installed Chrome on my Windows. To do that, come over here and click on this, come to the Help and the About. So I have the 95 over here. It means the version of my Chrome is 95 and also its architecture is 64-bit. So let's close this, and as the results, this is my great and amazing version 95. So I can click that. Over here I have the links for the different operating systems, the Linux, the Mac, and also the Windows. And this is the Win32-bit file. Also, you can use it on the 64-bit Windows without any problem. So let's download that. While downloading this, let's talk about how we can work with the WebDriver of the Edge. So come over here and open up the link for the Microsoft Edge. Indeed, I'm over here and I need to click on the Edge and this link. So I'm over here and you can see this web page. Maybe you have all the web page in the future. So the type of the web page is not important matter. The most important matter is finding the download link. So if I scroll down and come over here, I have the different versions, 97, 96, and 95. So we need to run the Edge to get the current version of it. So come over here, this is my own and my installed Edge. Come to this one, and after that come to the Help and the About, Microsoft Edge. So if I take a look, currently its version is 95 and also 64-bit. As I told you, the Microsoft Edge is based on the Chromium engine. So I have the same version like my Chrome and the same structure over here. Now let's close this or minimize that. And as the result, I need to download and install one of these versions. So these are the 32-bit and the 64-bit versions for the Windows. And you can see it over here. But don't forget to check the version. If I take a look at my version from scratch, it is the 950.102040. And I have the 102040, and this is indeed. So my current version is this one, 102040, and the 32-bit, 64-bit, Mac, Linux, and the ARM 64. So we need to download this version, the X64, because my currently installed version is the 64-bit. So let's come over here and click on this one. And don't forget, your download should be exactly based on your version and the architecture, 64-bit or 32-bit. So let's be patient. Now let's talk about other web browsers. Based on your web browser, you can download other For instance, you can get the Firefox version and you can see it over here, and also the Safari. Or even you can download and install the web driver for the Opera. If you can see the Opera over here, it means you need to search the Google for the Opera web driver. So if I take a look at the Firefox, so I have something like this over here, and also I have the web driver for the Safari over here. So you can easily download and install them. Now let's check our downloaded files. Welcome back. Everything is downloaded successfully. Now let's install it on my project. To do that, come over here and come to this one. I put all of the downloaded file inside this folder. So I have the Chrome driver, and you can see it over here, and it is only one executable file. And also I have the next one, Edge driver, and it is msedgedriver.exe. So both of these are the executable files. We can easily start working with them. To do that, we have two options. First, we can install this to the path. And what is the path? I'll talk about it. Also, we can add all of them inside the current project over here. So let's get start working with how we can add the web drivers to the path. It's really simple. Just come over here and get inside your control panel from here, or you can search them here, the control panel. Now let's come to this one, and here I have the system, and you can see the system over here. Then we need to get inside the advanced settings. In the older versions like the 7, you have another windows rather than this. So the only thing we need is using the advanced system settings. So this is. In this window, we need to get inside the environment variables, inside the advanced tab. So get inside the environment variables. And here I have all of the available variables that we can work with them. And my specific one is the path. You can see the path over here and come to the edit. In this list, we can get access to all of the available paths for the different applications. So you can copy your web drivers inside one of these folders, or you can add your specific folder easily and quickly. For better result, let's come to this one, and I want to add the new folder. So add new and the directory, and name it, for instance, the driver, or the data is not important matter. This is the data folder. In the next step, I need to copy my web driver files. So copy and paste it over here inside the data folder. So paste over here exactly. Do you want? Yes. So it's copied. Now I have the web drivers and the Chrome driver and also the Edge driver. So we have something like this and this. In the next step, we need to add the location and the folder of the web drivers and indent this to the path inside my environment. So exactly over here, if I take a look at the advanced settings here, I want to add it inside the path over here indeed. So I can come to the new, and I need to add the path here. Which path? The path of my web driver. So all of my web drivers are inside the data, then the web drivers. I can easily select the web drivers inside the web drivers. So right click over here and open in the Explorer. So this is my web drivers, and I have all the folders, and you can see over here. For better results, I can select this, cut, and paste it inside the root of the web drivers, the Chrome driver, and also the MS Edge Designer, and call this and paste it inside the root of my web driver. So I don't need to use these folders, and easily I can delete them, and it's done. Now I have only 2 executable files inside my web drivers folder. The only thing I need to add the web drivers to the path of my Windows. So let's come over here and copy this one. Then come to the settings over here and inside the path environment over here. Now let's add new and paste over here exactly. This is the web drivers. And also I can add the backslash at the end and click OK. So it's added, and if I take a look at the results one more time, I have it over here exactly inside the Selenium and the data web drivers. And click OK over here and also over here. After doing that, we need to restart the computer and the Windows. It's really important matter. After changing the path, we need to restart the computer. Don't forget to do that. Then we can start working with the WebDriver easily and quickly. So I have the refreshed version of the files over here. I have the Chrome driver and the MS Edge driver for the Microsoft Edge driver. Okay, excellent, congratulations. Now my files are downloaded and put inside the project folder. What about the next step? In the next step, I need to check if these files are available or not. To do that, we need to start coding the project and start working with the project. Later in my upcoming tutorial, I'll talk about how to check if the WebDriver is installed successfully or not with the two methods. It's time consuming and also really great and amazing. So stay with me. Thanks for your time. Hello and welcome. In this video, I want to talk about how to start using the WebDriver for the first time for the Chrome and also the Edge WebDrivers. So let's get started. First, I talked about how to download and install the Selenium and also how to download and add the Chrome WebDriver and the Edge WebDriver inside the project. So it's time to check if everything is working or not. At the top, I have the import to import the Selenium and also the WebDriver, and to name it, for instance, the WD. It stands for WebDriver. So let's add some comment over here. And currently, I added the location of the Chrome driver and also the Edge driver directly inside the path of my Windows, as I mentioned previously. So I have the settings, and inside the advanced settings, so come to the environment and the path. Over here, I have the location of my files inside the project, indeed over here. So I can directly use it, and each time you want to get access to the Chrome WebDriver or the Edge WebDriver, the Python will search the path and indeed over here for the WebDrivers. And currently I have the files over here, so everything will be automatically done without any errors. Let's see how. To do that, come over here and come to this one. So I have the WD, it stands for WebDriver at dot. In this list, I can get access to the most common properties and methods of the WebDriver. I want to work with the Chrome because I have installed it over here, and also I have the Edge. Also, you can use the Firefox, Opera, and Safari. So you are completely free to use one of these. My favorite one is the Chrome, and also I love the Edge. So let's select the Chrome. This is a parenthesis, and I need to assign the Chrome to another object, and indeed my web browser or my Chrome object. Also, if I hover on this, I have all of these available options that I can use it. I don't want to mix up here, so let's leave these by default and add only the parentheses and name it, for instance, my Chrome. So this is my Chrome and equals. In this step, my Chrome is generated automatically, and it is like this. So if I right click over here and run, this is run, and after a couple of seconds, the Chrome will be run automatically. So it is executed, and it means that everything is done. Also, I have the Chrome is being controlled by the automated test software. It means that this Chrome is controlled automatically by another application, and in this example, this is controlled by my application in the Python. So if I take a look at the next one and say my Edge equals to what? Equals to WD dot. And over here I have the Edge. Don't forget, we need to use the uppercase E over here for the Edge and also the uppercase C for the Chrome. So let's select the Edge. Now I have the my Edge, and it is this object. So right click over here and let's see the result. And also I have the Microsoft Edge is being controlled by the automated test software. So if you see this and also this, it means everything is done perfectly and you are successful for working with the Edge and the Chrome. But if you haven't something like this result, it means something is wrong. For instance, if I come over here, right click on the WebDriver, and I want to rename it, for instance, to another matter, and like this, for instance, I added the Q at the end. Now I haven't this folder in the path in it over here inside this one. So it is inside the WebDrivers, but I haven't the WebDrivers folder exactly over here. So I'll get the error. Let's see. Right click over here and run. Now I have the errors over here, and let's comment this for better understanding first. This is, and let's see the result. Run. So you can see the Selenium up to here. Executable needs to be in the path. It means you need to add the Chrome driver inside the path. And what is the path? This is the path indeed over here inside the path, and we need to add the folder over here. So if you got something like this error, it means you need to repeat the previous steps of this tutorial successfully to add the Chrome WebDriver inside the folder. Then add it over here, as I mentioned previously. And also we can check with the next one, and it is the Edge. And let's see the results. Come over here and come to this one. So I got the similar message, executable needs to be in path, and please download it. Also, you can see the download link over here and the developer Microsoft up to here. First, I talked about this path and how to get it from the PyP website easily and quickly. So currently, I assume that you watched my previous tutorial and you are familiar with my previous topics and the tutorials. So let's come over here and come to this one, right click, refactor, and name it back to the correct one and the refactor. So if I right click over here and run, let's see the result. Without any problem, my Edge is running completely and successfully. Let's talk about another tricky note. After running the Edge by using this one of the code, if I close the Edge, let's close that, come to the Task Manager, right click over here, Task Manager, or press the Ctrl, Alt, and Delete on your keyboard. So if I take a look at the name in the process tabs over here, if I come to this, yes, this is the Chrome driver, and these are remained from here. So currently I didn't quit and close the Chrome driver. As the result, I needed to close and kill it manually. So come to the end task, then end task. Indeed, the Chrome driver.exe hasn't an interface or GUI. So I haven't anything over here and I can see that. So let's close that manually in this step. Later, I'll talk about how to close and kill this one. And in the next step, I need to kill and close the Microsoft WebDriver, and it is the Edge WebDriver. So if I scroll down, I have the Microsoft. Where are you, Microsoft? This is the Microsoft WebDriver, and I need to close this. So let's close that, and also close this one. Well done. So far, we learned how to use the Chrome and also the Edge for the first time inside the Python using the Selenium. Currently, we didn't close the Edge and also the Chrome using the code. Later in my upcoming tutorial, I'll talk about how to close that using the codes. So don't worry about anything and just come over here, and I want to work with the Chrome and put it over here. So in the next step, I want to talk about how to use the service or the code over here and put the path of your driver inside your code. And we have something like this. If I take a look, we need to define the service and also use the path over here, and then assign it to the Chrome. It's time consuming, so let's talk about it in my upcoming tutorial. So it's your turn. Go ahead and start working with the WebDriver and load it in your Python project, and stay with me with my amazing upcoming tutorial. Thanks for your time. Everybody, welcome back. In this video, I want to talk about how to easily load the Chrome WebDriver and also the Microsoft Edge WebDriver directly from the specific folder inside my Python project. So let's get started. First, I talked about how to use the path, and indeed this one, to load the location of the Selenium WebDriver for the different web browsers like the Edge and also the Chrome. But sometimes you don't need to do something like this. Instead of that, we can use the direct method and directly load the WebDriver for the Chrome and also, for instance, for the Edge inside the folders of my project. We can do it easily. For better understanding, let's take a quick look at the codes over here. At the top, I have the import, and this is the WD. It stands for my WebDriver. I talked about this matter. Then I can import the service. So import Selenium WebDriver, and for the Chrome, for instance, we can use the service. Also for the Edge, we can use the Edge over here. Then name it, for instance, my service or my Chrome, no matter and no problem. And after that, I can easily use the my service over here, then the service inside it, and assign the direct location of the driver inside the folders and the projects, indeed over here, the path of this. So in the next step, I need to load the Chrome or the Edge like the previous tutorial. And instead of the previous method, we need to assign the service as the argument and also the SRV. The SRV is my Chrome service in this example, or you can use it with the Edge or maybe with other web browsers or even with other web drivers like the Opera or the Firefox. But you need to test them before using it. Now let's do it in the action cover here and open up my project over here at the top. Let's import. This is the import what? The Selenium, then dot and the WebDriver. And which WebDriver? I want to work with the Chrome. So I have the Chrome over here. Also I have the Safari, the Edge, and also the Firefox and Opera. Let's get started working with the Chrome first. This at dot and the service. So this is the service inside the Chrome WebDriver of the Selenium, and name it, for instance, my service. So this is my service and it's time to use it. You know what? This part is common between the new method and the old one. So currently I assume that you are familiar with this line of the code. So let's talk about the next step. In the next step, I need to assign the value to the service. Value of what? The location of the WebDriver. Then assign it to another object like SRV and use it as the service of my Chrome. So let's do it. Come over here and say my service. This is my service. Then add dot and the service with the uppercase S. So this is my service, and add the parentheses. And inside it, we need to assign the location of my WebDriver. And in this example, the Chrome. So for more information, you can hover on the service. Then you can get access to all of this. And the first option and the argument is the executable path as the string. So if I take a look at this, and over here I have the Chrome, I want to work with the Chrome. So right click on that and copy. Instead of copying, I have another option and copy path reference. So I can copy that, and after that the absolute path. That is not my intention because everything will be copied. And if I paste it over here, so the current location on the hard drive will be copied over here. This is not really a great idea. Instead of that, I want to use the relative path, not the absolute. So right click over here and copy path, and the file name, no, the path from content root. The content root means something like this: the data, the web drivers, and the Chrome driver. Indeed from here, from the root, this is the root, the data up to the end. And also you can see the preview for the previous one, the absolute path over here. Personally, I prefer to use the dynamic path because if you move your project to another location or another computer, you can work with it without any updating the path. So let's copy this and paste over here. Now it is inside the data, and the data means the root of my project and this Selenium over here. Then the web drivers, the Chrome driver, and this. And in the last step, I need to define the service. So this is the service, and you can see the service over here. And which service? I need to assign this one. So I can easily define another object like my SRV or SRV, no matter, and assign it over here, SRV. This is only the name, so you can write anything that you want without any limitation. Okay, excellent, congratulations, everything seems great. And if I take a look over here, right click and run, let's see the results. After a couple of seconds, wow, what happened? It's running perfectly without any problem. And this is really great news. So let's close this one. And to be sure if the WebDriver is loading from this path or the folder, I can easily change this, for instance, over here. So right click on this and run, and let's see the result. So I got this error. The home driver executable needs to be in the path. It means that this path is not correct. And also it means that my driver is loading from the service, indeed directly from here. So it's working perfectly and great. Now let's talk about another tricky note and how we can use this one with the Microsoft Edge driver. It's really simple. Just come over here and come to this one. I can define another object and import over here. Instead of the Chrome, I can say the Edge. So this is the Edge. Inside the Edge, I have the service. So let's check it at dot. So it is the service, and name it, for instance, Edge service. So Edge service. So I can use this one instead of the my service over here. And also I can use this. And for better results and for your later using, I can copy this part and come over here and paste it. So this is the SRV, my service, and I want to work with the Edge service. So let's write the Edge service. Then the location of my edge, and this is the edge. Right click on that, and the path from the content root. Copy and paste over here. So this is. Now I have the SRV. Also I can comment this out. Now I have the SRV, and I can easily use the next one. So my edge equals this, and the edge. Edge what? Edge the service. Let's assign the service over here. And the next one, and it is the SRV. So SRV. Also I need to comment this. Now I have the codes that are enough for working with the Edge. First loading and importing the classes, then creating the service using the Edge service, the service and the location of the WebDriver of the Edge. And also I need to define the edge using something like this over here. I have the my edge that is created based on the driver over here inside this folder. Right click on this and run. And don't forget, we need to comment the codes of the Chrome. So this is the edge, and you can see the edge over here, and it is ready for controlling it by the codes of the Selenium. So let's close this, and it's done. Congratulations, everything looks amazing and great. And don't forget, it's a really important matter. Currently, we didn't kill and close or quit the instances of the WebDriver for the Chrome and also the Edge. So come over here, right click, come to the task manager, and we need to close these manually. So I have two Chrome driver, this is, and this is. And also if you got something like this for the Microsoft Edge, you need to close that. And if I take a look, yes, this is. So I need to close all of this one by one. As I mentioned, these are the applications that hasn't any kind of interface or the GUI. So we can see them in my taskbar over here, and this is. So everything is killed and quitted successfully. Okay, excellent, congratulations. And also for the last step, let's select this and comment the edge over here and also over here, because I want to work with the Google Chrome. So I need to load it. And this is the location of my driver for the Chrome, and also loading the Chrome using this one. And what about the next step? In the next step, I want to show you how to start loading your first web page and website and get the data of them and show it in the Python or other matters. It's really great and amazing, and indeed the first results of this section. But it's time consuming, so stay with me with my amazing upcoming tutorial. Thanks for your time. Hello and welcome. In this video I want to talk about how to easily get started working with the Selenium to load the title and the URL of the website in the Python. So let's get started. So far we talked about how to easily download and install the Selenium, and also how to work with the web drivers for instance the Edge or the Chrome. Now I have loaded my driver and it is over here, and we call it the My Chrome. It's time to use it to get access to anything that I want, or automating the Chrome operations using this web driver. It's really simple and straightforward. If I take a look at the codes over here, I have all of this, as I mentioned previously, up to here. Now I have the My Chrome, and suppose I want to get access to this website. So I need to use the get method of my Chrome driver. Then get the URL or the path of my website. And after that I have the website, so I can get access to the My Chrome, then the current URL to get the URL of the website, and also the title of the website. It's really simple and straightforward. And after loading the data that I want, it's time to quit or close my driver and also my browser. So I have the sign of the code to quit the driver and also the browser. But it's better to add some delay before closing it. So I'm gonna use the time and the sleep method and add up to 5 seconds delay to the quit. And indeed, after running this line of the code, the execution of the remaining codes will be stopped up to 5 seconds. Then the next line will be executed and everything will be done. Also, for using the time, I have imported the time over here at the top. So let's get started working with this great example, and indeed my first project. Let's do it. Come over here and come to this one, and currently I have the My Chrome. Let's add some comment here, and this is. Now I have the My Chrome. This is at dot, and the get method, as I told you, this is. And the get method has the URL argument. So click on this, and if I hover on the get, so let's see the result, and the URL is the string. Loads a web page in the current browser session. And this is the functionality of the get. So I need to add the double quotations here. And suppose I want to get access to the Bing website. So I have something like this. Copy and paste over here, and let's delete the extra and unused part. So the HTTPS, the colon, the www.bing.com. I want to get the title of this website. So I can say my Chrome dot the title, for instance. So this is the title, and also I can use the print method to print the result, something like this. So let's come over here and say the print what? Print the title of my Chrome. And this is up to here. So let's add some title here and say, for instance, title. And after this, it's time to close my Chrome. As I mentioned previously, if you don't close your Chrome and also your web driver, it will remain inside your task manager, indeed over here, inside your processes. So it's not really a great idea, and I strongly recommend you to quit your web driver before exiting your code. So let's do it. Come over here, and I can say My Chrome, this is, and the quit. So this is the quit, and it's really simple and it's straightforward. Also, we can add some delay, then quit the application. I'll talk about this later, so don't worry about anything. It's not necessary. So come over here and come to this one. Now, if I take a look at my codes, everything is great. So right click over here and run. Indeed, I want to work with the Google Chrome and load the Bing. So the Bing is loaded, and I have the title that is returned and printed over here. But it was immediately closed. Why? Because I used the quit over here. So it's not really great idea closing it immediately. And if we wanna see the result, then it's better to add some delay over here. Let's do it one more time. Come over here and run. So it's loaded. Let's be patient. And the result over here. And the title is Bing. Indeed, the title of my web page. So I can add the delay over here. But before that, I need to import another namespace and the class. So let's say import what? Import the time. So this is my time and I want to work with it. So come to this and say the time at dot and the sleep. The sleep means hello Python, please stop execution of the codes until, for instance, 5 seconds or 10 seconds. So if I hover on the sleep, its parameter is float, so you can add up to any number that you want based on the seconds, and it is the float. So I'm using the 5 over here. It means hello Python, please wait up to 5 seconds, then quit the application. And don't forget, this is not necessary, and I add it over here because I want to see the browser, then quit that. Indeed, this hasn't any effect on the result. And after running this on of the code, the title will be printed in the console over here. Then quit my driver and my Chrome. So let's come over here, right click and run. So this is, and I have the Bing over here at the top. This is the title indeed. You can see it over here and wait up to 5 seconds. Then close the micro. Now if I take a look at my task manager, and currently I haven't any Google Chrome over here or over here inside my process. Indeed, this is from my other desktop, not this application. For better understanding, if I come over here and increase this number up to, for instance, 15, right click and run. Now let's see the task manager. So the new Google Chrome is added over here, and you can see it has up to 8 different processes and it's running. So this is my Bing that is running up to 15 seconds. Let's select this. So my application is closed automatically with the exit code 0. It means everything is automatically closed. And as I mentioned, currently we're using the quit, so no processes and no applications will be remained inside the memory of the computer. So we can't find any Google WebDriver over here, and I haven't anything, as you see, and this is completely clear. Okay, excellent, congratulations. Now we learned how to quit the application from the processes and also increase or decrease the sleep time. Let's change it up to 5 seconds. And also I can get the URL, so I can copy this and paste over here and say the URL or the address of the website and add dot. So I have the URL and the current URL. So if I right click over here and run, let's see the result. So let's click over here and be patient. This is the result, the URL and also the title of my web page and the exit code over here. Indeed, we don't need to watch the Google Chrome to get this information, and these are loaded and will get in the back behind and in the memory of the application. So if I right click over here and run, let's see, and this is my Google Chrome, and if I click over here, currently I can't see that, but the data will be returned easily and quickly. So it's done, and you can see the results over here and also the exit code. Okay, excellent, congratulations. Now we learned how to create the first project for loading the URL and the title of the web page. So it's certainly going to start and create this great and amazing project, and stay with me with the next project, and it is searching the word in the Bing or the Google with the Selenium. Stay with me. Thanks for your time. Hello and welcome, and this video I want to talk about how to get started working with the second project, and it is how to search the word in the Bing or the Google by the Python using the Selenium. So let's get started. First, I talked about how to create this project, and we learned many great tips and tricks for loading the title and the URL of the specific website. Now I have the Bing, and suppose I want to search something inside it. Then we can do it easily using the Python code and the Selenium. Indeed, this is the second project to learn more about the Selenium power in controlling the web browsers. For better understanding, let's open up my Google Chrome, and here you can see the bing.com. This is the Bing. Also, you can use any other search engines. Indeed, this is the simple example, and let's start, for instance, Visual Studio. So this is the Visual Studio, and click on it. I have the good news, and it is that by using the Selenium, we can do all of these actions using the Python and the code, using the Python code and the Selenium. It's really simple and it's straightforward. At the beginning, we need to get the control into this text box, then write something inside it, then click on the search button or press enter or press the return key. Let's do it in the action. For your better understanding, I have the same code, and this is at the top. I have the Selenium, the service, and also all of this. If I take a look at the remaining code, this is the service previously I talked about it. So I have the micro, and this is the Chrome int. And after that, we need to get the website, and I have this website using the get method of the mychrome or the mychrome driver. Previously I talked about up to here. But what about the next step? And in the next step, I need to get the element. Which element? This text box. And I need to get that, then write something inside it, and finally press enter to search the result. So I have the find element method inside my Chrome, and inside it I have the search type, search by the name. So we need to import the search type. It is inside the Selenium WebDriver common and the by. Search type by name and the queue. And in the next step, I'll show you how to get the name of the element. Then clear the text inside it. So I assigned all of this to another object and the search bar. Then clear the text inside it. Then use the send keys to add the text inside it or write the text inside it. Then we need to send the key to press the enter or the return key. Also, we can use the sub method in some of cases. And finally, a sleep and the quit. At the first step, it looks a little bit scary and complex, but it's really simple and straightforward. Currently, I assume that you watch my previous tutorial and you are familiar with how to start working with the Selenium up to here. So it's really simple. Just insert the Selenium, then the service, and use the service, and also load the Chrome, and then load the website like the Bing. And also we can use the title and the current URL. We don't need to both of this, and you can leave it or you can comment them. So come over here and add some comment here, and I want to write the codes inside these comments. So at the beginning, let's talk about the next step, and it is finding the element. So we have the find element inside the mychrome or the Chrome driver. You can easily use it to find any control inside your web browser over here. So if I take a look at this, and currently I have the mychrome. So let's write mychrome, this is, then add dot, and here I have the find element. Also, we have the find element by ID and other options that we don't want to talk about them. Instead of that, I have the find element that we can find the elements inside your web browser by the different options. So click on this. Now we need to assign the search type that we want to find the items based on that. So if I hover on the find element, and here I have the by, it is a string, for instance, by ID or by the name. So we need to import another one, and it is the search type. The search type is inside the Selenium WebDriver, the common, and the by. So let's do it. Come over here and come to this one, for instance, exactly here, and say the import and the Selenium. This is dot and the WebDriver dot and the common. And finally by. I have the by over here, and this is. Also, we can write the name for that, for instance, search type or any other matters that you want. This is only the name, and you can write anything that you want. For instance, search type. So this is the search type, and don't forget to add the S. Now I have the search type, and I can use it over here inside the find element. I want to find element based on what? Based on the search type dot, then by, and after that, in this list, I can select the method for finding the object. For instance, the ID, name, XPath, CSS selector, class name, link text, up to the end. Now we need to learn more about the elements and how we can find them. Currently, I assume that you are familiar with the HTML and the element inspector. But if you don't know anything about the HTML and also the inspector, don't worry about anything and just follow my tutorial. So if I right click over here inside my browser, at the end I have the inspect. So if I click on the inspect, wow, what happened? This is the inspector. It's really scary at the first look, but don't worry, it's really simple and it has really simple and a straightforward structure. I'll talk about the most common usages of this inspector for working with the Selenium to find any object that you want. So at the top I have some close button. I can close that or come to the inspect one more time. And also I have the menu, click on this. And here you can see the dock site where you wanna put your inspector. For instance, at the right, at the bottom. This is my favorite one and I love it. And also I can close this, for instance, and see all of this information. So I can select this and change it to the right or to the hover mode. And also I can come to all of these options one by one. So you can easily select this to put it at the left and also come to the next. And this is the undock or the hover, or you can leave it and come to this one, to the bottom. This is my favorite one and I love it. Now if I take a look at the top left over here, I have the simple button with the cursor on it and it is inspect button. Click on that. Now I can easily move around all of the controls on my website and you can see something like this. So after hovering on any control, you can see more information in the tooltip over here or exactly over here. For instance, if I select this, so it is the form queue or the form query, and you can see more information at the tooltip and also more information over here. For instance, I can select this. Now you can see the tag that is selected. Indeed, this is the tag or the code for creating this text box, and its type is input, and this is the HTML tag and it is inside the HTML tag from here up to here. So currently, don't worry about the HTML if you don't know anything about that, and just focus on the learning. And if I take a look, I have the ID. You can see the ID over here, the class, the name, the type, up to the end. We can use one of these options and attributes to find this control. Then send the text inside it and press enter and find the result. But I strongly recommend you to use the name because it's unique, and also the ID to get access to this control. And if you want to get the next control, you can come over here, click on this button one more time, and come to this, for instance, the search button. So this is the search button, and you can see it is the label here, and also inside it I have the image and all of these options. So you can see the quick preview over here while changing the lines of the HTML. For instance, this is the label, and inside it I have the SVG and also the image and other matters over here. And also I can use all of this one by one and see the results like this. But my favorite one is the inspect button, and I can easily select this or this and also all of this. So let's select the first one and click on the text box over here. So I have the input, and we call the text box as the input, and its name is Q. So we can get the Q or the ID, and it is the sp form underscore Q. So come over here and add the dot here, Now I can use the ID, for instance, and click on that, then add comma and the value. If I come over here, you can see the by or the search type, then add comma and the value. So I can add the double quotations here and assign any name that I want. For instance, if I come over here, let's select this and come to this one. So its ID is the SP form. If you double click on this, copy and paste it inside this. You can use this ID to find the text. Or you can use another one and it is the name. So if I take a look, come over here and one more time here, and it is the name. Its name is Q. So if you want to get access to this control in the text box, its name is Q. You can use the Q to call it. For better understanding for your later using, let's copy this and come over here and paste over here. Also, let's select this and change it to the name. So the name, what is the name? It is the Q, exactly the Q over here. Very great. So its name is Q, and also you can use the class. You can see the class over here, or even all of these options if you need some of them. So come over here. I have my methods for finding the exact element on the browser. So let's comment the first one. Now I have found the element using this method. So the result should be another object and I need to assign it to another object. For instance, search bar. Why I use the search bar? This is only the name and I use the search bar because of this one. And also you can write anything that you want. So I have the search bar, then we can clear the text send keys up to the end. So let's come over here and name it, for instance, the search bar. So this is my search bar. Now I have generated the search bar successfully. And if I click on this and add the breakpoint, so right click over here and debug. So let's see the reaction inside the real world data. Now let's be patient. You can see the search bar, but we need to get inside the next line. So this is, now I have the search bar and you can see it over here with all of these properties that I have. You can see all of this, the name, the location, the ID, and also up to the end. So it means that I have successfully could get the elements from my browser. If I stop this and write something wrong, for instance, this, currently I haven't this element inside my web browser. So let's see the reaction. Come over here and come to this one and debug. You know what? Using the debug is a great option to get deeper inside the codes. So if I take a look, this is, now go to the next line and nothing happened. And go to the next line and currently I haven't any object and there is exception. So I have the exception because I haven't such control on my browser. So let's continue. And also if I come to the console, so I have this error over here and this one. Okay, excellent, congratulations. Now let's minimize this and close this one and correct this. So it's done. Now I have the search bar. But what about the next step? In the next step, I'll talk about how to clear the text, send the keys, and press enter. It's time consuming, so save it. Welcome back. In this video, I want to talk about how to complete my project by sending some text and also searching the text inside the Bing or the Google or other search engines. Previously, I talked about how to find the element and we are over here indeed. Now I have the search bar and it is the text box inside the Bing. And if I take a look, is this one. So in the next step, I can clear the text inside it. To do that, I can easily come to this and use the clear method to clear anything inside the search bar or my text box. It's really simple. Just come over here and this is my element. I can come to the next line and say the search bar. So this is the search bar dot. In this list, I can get access to most common properties and methods of the control or the element, and it is the search bar. So the clear, and as you see, the clear will delete anything inside the text portion of this control and clears the text. Indeed, this is not necessary, but it's better to do that. And in the next step, I can use the send case. Indeed, the send case is the most common method of my element, and it will set something inside the control or the element, like the text, for instance. And also we can use it to send some key press inside it, like return, enter, like the escape, delete, or all the keys on my keyboard. So let's get started working with the first one. Come over here and come to this one and say the search bar. This is my search bar and the send keys. So this is the send keys, and if I hover on this, I have the value that I can assign it to my send keys. So I can easily add the double quotations and write something like this: Visual Studio. Suppose I wanna set the text of my search bar as the Visual Studio. Let's see. Right click over here and run. So this is the result, and after that, let's see, the Visual Studio is inserted inside the text box over here, and it means everything is done. So by using the send keys, we can add the text or all the keys to that. For instance, if I take a look at my virtual keyboard, this is, and here I have the list of available and different keys on my keyboard. For instance, suppose you want to write something like the D, so you can write the D, or even you can add the tab or the shift and also the return key or the enter and also the shift and all of this. You can add all of this to the browser easily and quickly. To do that, let's come over here and come to this one. We need to import another matter and another library. So it is the import Selenium WebDriver, the common and the keys. First, I talked about the search type that is inside the by and inside the common up to the end. In addition, I have another one, and it is the keys that is inside the common up to the end. Let's import that. So come over here and come to this one. Indeed, by using the keys, we can manage the keys that we want to send to the Selenium and the web browser. So the WebDriver.common and the keys. So this is the keys, and name it, for instance, my keys. So this is my keys, and if I take a look, currently I have inserted the Visual Studio. So in the next step, I can come over here and come to this one, and instead of the text, I can say my keys at dot and the keys. Which keys? At dot. I can get access to all of these keys directly without any problem. For instance, the enter, the return, the tab, the add, alt, and also down and F1 up to F9, F11, F12, and the numpad 1 to 4 up to the end. So we can get access to the most common keys on my keyboard. Indeed, if I take a look at the Bing over here, after adding the Visual Studio, for instance, let's write the Visual Studio, I can start searching by pressing the enter or clicking on this button. But if you want to work with the Selenium, you need to consider the type of the keys that you can enter over here. Let's take a quick look at my image. This is the normal keyboard with some numpads over here at the right. Inside each keyboard, we have two types of the enter. First one is over here, the enter. We call it return key. And also we have another enter over here inside the numpad area. But we call this enter and we call this a return key. In most of the cases, both of these are similar and have the similar functionalities. But in the Selenium, we call this return key and this one as enter. So come over here and come to this one and add dot and press the return. And the return means press the enter behind the letters, not the enter inside the numpad. And if you want to work with the enter, you can easily write the enter, but you need to check if it's working or not. So come over here and the return. So this is my return. And the return means, hello web browser, please press the enter. So if I come over here and come to run, let's see the result. So the Visual Studio is added and press enter, and wow, congratulations. I got the search results over here. It's really great and amazing. Only by adding the return over here. And also I can check the enter if it's working or not. You know what? If you want to be successful and professional programmer, you should be genius and check the different combination of the codes. And also let's increase this one up to 10 seconds to see the result better. Run and let's see the result. So the Visual Studio will be inserted. It's done and press enter. So the enter is working over here inside this code. As the result, we can use the enter and also the return key over here in this example. But as I mentioned, you need to check in the different websites if it's working or not, then use it. Okay, excellent. I enjoyed a lot. And also we can use the next one, and it is the submit. Sometimes you can use the submit to start searching or other submitting information. But we need to check if it's working on the specific website or not. Instead of using this, we can use the submit method of the search bar. Let's see if it's working or not. Come over here and come to this one. Let's add some comment. Indeed, the submit works with the form element. And if I come over here, let's write the search bar, add dots and the submit. So this is the submit. And also I can come to this and comment it out. So let's see the result. Come over here and run. So it's loading and the Visual Studio will insert it soon. It's done and search. So we can say the submit is working in the Bing and also the enter key and finally the return key. All of these are working for searching in the Bing. But we can use one of these freely and optionally. Okay, excellent. Congratulations. Now we learned how to search the data inside the Bing with many great tips and tricks. And also we can use these codes for searching the Google. It's time consuming. So let's talk about it in the next part. Stay with me. Welcome back. In this video, I want to talk about how to search some word inside the Google website using the Python and the Selenium. So let's get started. First, I talked about how to work with the Bing website and how to use the Selenium and the Python to search something inside the Bing. Also, we can use another website and it is the Google. This is the famous Google website and you can see the google.com over here. At the first step, we can come to this, inspect. And if I take a look at the search text box over here, click on this button and come to inspect. So over here, I have the input and its class name. And also if I take a look, its name. We have the same name and its name is Q. So we can use the name Q to get access to this control and start searching the text. So come over here and to start my tutorial, I added the new Python file and it is Hi Google. And also I can come to the Hi Selenium, select all of the codes and copy, get inside the Google and paste over here to start my tutorial. If I take a look at the top, we need to change the micro. Indeed, all of these codes are common between the Google and also the Bing. At the first, we need to change this part, the Bing. So I can come to the Google and copy the address, come to this and paste over here. So this is, and this is really tricky note. If you want to work with the different websites, you need to consider the type of the website. If it's HTTPS or only the HTTP. You need to consider this matter and it's a really tricky note. Currently the Google and the Bing are the HTTPS or the secured HTTP. So if I take a look at the next step, I have the title and also I want to search the Visual Studio and I can get the control or the element using the name. And you can see it over here and its name is Q. And the Google has the same name. So it is the Q and we don't need to change it anymore. Then send the text to search. And after that, let's comment this. And instead of that, let's add the return. So this is the return. As I told you, you can use the return, the enter, and the submit. So you can try it, which is working for your website. Now, this is the return and the wait up to 10 seconds and run. Listen to the results. So everything is loading and Chrome is controlling in the Visual Studio and the search. Congratulations, we did it. Now we learned how to search the Visual Studio inside the Google Chrome and the Google website using the Selenium and the Python. Okay, I enjoyed it a lot. Now you can see the return and its title is Google and also the URL. You know what? During the previous tutorials up to here in this section, we learned many great tips and tricks for working with the Selenium. So if you want to be successful and professional programmer, you should be genius and try different codes and different methods. Don't limit your knowledge and your experiences to the content and the topics of my tutorial. So you can try different codes and different methods to expand your knowledge. With the best wishes. Thanks for your time. Hello and welcome. In this video I want to talk about how to start creating the third project, and it is about how to create the login bot for the Stack Overflow website by the Selenium and the Python. So let's get started. At the first, let's talk about this. The contents of the video are only for educational purposes, and you are responsible for any misusing or sending spams and all that stuff. So don't forget, my main purpose of creating this video tutorial is only to show you how to work with the Selenium, not creating the bot or the spammer for the different websites, especially for the Stack Overflow. Because I'm not the spammer and the spamming is not really great idea and the great job, so you need to learn to help the people, not annoying them. And I hope to consider this matter. So if you agreed with me, let's get started working with the next step. Before doing anything, let's talk about the Stack Overflow website and talk more about it. If I open up my Google and search the Stack Overflow, you can see the Stack Overflow over here. And it is the most famous website of the question and answers between the programmers. Indeed, the Stack Overflow is the huge number of the people or the huge community of the people that are joined together to help each other to solve the problems, especially in the programming problems and the errors. So if you have any kind of the programming problems and errors and you want to find the best answer for that, don't hesitate to start working with the Stack Overflow. You can easily create the account inside this website, then log in and add your problem and your error. Then there is many other people that immediately can answer to your problem. And you can choose one of the best options and the answers for your problem easily and quickly. And I have used this great website many times during my professional programming career. So don't hesitate to work with it. Over here I have the main parts of this website, the questions, customers, login, jobs up to the end. First we need to sign up the account, then log in inside it if we want to add any questions. But if you want to get the answer for the existing problems, you can easily get inside this website and find your answer for the questions without any registration. In this video, I want to talk about how to work with the auto login inside this website to learn more about the features and properties of the Selenium for web automation. Now let's come over here and right click, open a new and come to this one. Over here I have the accept all cookies, and this is the window that we need to get this and click on the accept cookies. I'll talk about this matter later and how to click on this button by the Selenium in the Python. Also, I have the sign up over here and the login. In the future, maybe you have all the website rather than this. It's not important matter. Maybe the location of these buttons in the future change, but it's not important. And you need to find the login and the sign up somewhere else. So I have the sign up and currently I have the registered account inside this website. So if I click on the login, and here I have the email text box and the password, and also I can click on the login. But before logging inside this website, so let's do it and come over here, come to this and my email and paste over here. Don't use this email, this is only for the test purposes. And instead of using this, create your own account and paste over here and log in. Now let's see, so this is my own panel and let's save it for instance. And I can get access to all of the features from here. And also for instance, click on this and all of this. But especially we need to click on this button and close this modal window. Later I'll talk about this matter. Okay, excellent. Now we learned more about the Stack Overflow. But what about the next step? In the next step, we need to start working with the Selenium to get access to this website at the first step. It's time consuming. So let's talk about it in my upcoming tutorial. Stay with me. Hello and welcome. In this video, I want to talk about how to start writing the Python code to get inside the login page of the Stack Overflow. Later in my upcoming tutorials, I'll talk about how to log in inside the Stack Overflow using the Selenium. So let's get started. Firstly, I talked about the Stack Overflow, and this is my website, thestackoverflow.com. And if I take a look at the login and click over here, click on that. So I have this URL up to here before the question mark, indeed up to here. So I need to get inside this URL, and we don't need indeed this part of the code, so we can easily skip that. And after that, we need to add the email and the password and click on the login. In this video, I want to talk about how to load this page, indeed up to here and this page. Then eventually, I'll talk about how to complete the project. It's really simple and straightforward. Currently, I assume that you are familiar with my previous tutorial on how to load the simple website. So at the top, we need to add some import. So this is, and after that, we need to locate the WebDriver. In this example, the Chrome WebDriver. Then get inside the login web page. Then get the accept button by using this code. And click on the accept all, indeed this button. And after all of this, it's time to get the username and the password, indeed this and this. Then click on the login. So if I take a look at my code over here, you can see the username and the password, and finally slip and quit the Chrome driver. So the overall structure of this code, and we have simple difference, and it is the weight over here and also over here. The weights in the Selenium is a really great and amazing topic. I'm going to talk about it in my upcoming tutorials. In this video, let's focus on loading the login page of the Stack Overflow. So let's come over here, and to start my tutorial, I added the Stack bot. Click over here, and it is the simple Python file. And also, we can get the codes from previous tutorials to speed up this video, and this is the Hi Google, so I can copy all of these codes and come to the Stack bot and paste over here. So this is a really simple and straightforward code for only loading the web page and finding any control that we want. So I have all of these imports over here, and also I have the Chrome and the service over here to locate the location of my Chrome. So this is, and let's select this. Great. Now I have located the Chrome WebDriver. So it's time to load the website, and we have something like this. The get over here, and the URL or the web page over here should be loaded. Now let's delete that. Previously I talked about how to load the Google. So I used the Google in this example. You can see it over here. But in this example, I want to get the login page. So this is the login page, and if I take a look up to here is enough for me, and copy. And also we can add this, but it's not necessary, and the remaining text after the question mark is not necessary. Also, you can add it if you got any unexpected errors. Now let's come over here and add it over here. Also, I have the title and the URL that I don't need it, so let's select them and delete. In the next step, I want to get the items one by one. So I have all of this. But currently I don't want to get any controls. So I can select all of this, delete, or I can add some comments for later using like this. It's really simple and straightforward. And also I have the sleep for sleeping and waiting up to 10 seconds. And finally quitting the Chrome. Now I have only the simple website that is loaded into the application memory using the Selenium, and it is like this. So let's see the results in the action. Right click over here and run. So let's see the result. Let's be patient. So the Chrome is loading, and also the stackoverflow.com user login, and I have the login page over here. For learning more about the next step, let's come over here and select this and increase this number up to, for instance, 20 seconds. So let's see the results one more time and talk more about the next step. So in the next step, I need to click on the accept all button, then close this window. It's really simple and straightforward, but we need to learn the weights. So the weights is really great and practical part of the Selenium, and we should learn it completely. Okay, excellent, congratulations. Now we learned how to write the code for loading the simple login page of the Stack Overflow. It's your turn. Go ahead and start working with this great code and write the codes from scratch, and stay with me with my amazing upcoming tutorial. Stay with me. Hello and welcome. In this video, I want to talk about the weights in the Selenium, especially the implicit weights and how to use it for adding some amount of the weight inside the Python codes. So let's get started. Till now, we talked about how to create this project and how to load the Stack Overflow login web page inside the Python codes up to here. If I take a look at the login page over here, sometimes after loading the web page, all of the controls aren't loaded, and we need to wait until a specific time. Then check if the control is added or not. For instance, if I want to get the email and insert the email inside it and also the password inside this text box, after refreshing or after the first load of this web page, until 5 seconds, for instance, I can get access to this or this because it's not loaded successfully. We have different reasons. For instance, speed of the network is low, or because of the structure of the web page, we need to wait until a specific time for loading all of the controls, then get the email or the password, for instance. To do that, the Selenium has really great and amazing options, and it is the waits. So the waits provide some delay between actions performed, and this is really simple and straightforward definition for the relay. So it is the delay between actions to be performed, and mostly to find the element, especially while loading the page, and we need to get the controls. So we have two main weights, the implicit weights and the explicit weights. The implicit weight is the fixed amount of the weight, but the explicit weight is the conditional weight. So we need to add some condition for weighting. And what about the implicit weight? In this example, I want to talk about the implicit weight. The implicit weight makes WebDriver, in this example is the Chrome driver, to wait for a fixed amount of the time when trying to locate the elements with the 300 millisecond interval. So after loading the code and the web page, after this one, if you add the implicit weight, then the WebDriver will be wait if we want to find any elements using the find element, for instance, to load everything and to be complete every object. So it's really important matter, and I strongly recommend you to add some delay using the implicit weight to your codes for preventing any unexpected errors, especially when you want to find the controls. So if I take a look at my website over here, I have the email and the password. In the next step, I want to get the email and the password, then assign the values inside it, and finally log in. And don't forget, we need to close this one But to do that, we need to use the explicit wait that I'm going to talk about it later in my upcoming tutorials. So right click over here and come to the inspect. Previously I talked about this matter, and this is come to this one over here. And don't forget to assign the location of the inspector using the button. Now click over here and come to this control, and its name, if I take a look, is the email, and also the ID is email. So you can use the name or even the ID for locating and finding this control. And also the next one is the password. So I have the password, and its name, if I take a look, is the password, and also the ID password. The ID and the name are equals over here in this example and the control. So we can get the email and the password into the names to get these controls, and you can see the email and also the password. If I take a look at the codes for better understanding over here and scroll down, currently I don't want to talk about the explicit wait. To get the accept button and click on that. Indeed, this. If I take a look at this one, I'll talk about it later. So in the next step, I need to get the controls one by one, and starting from the email and the password. Previously I talked about this matter and how to use the find element and send keys to get the control and also send the value inside it. One for the email and the next one for the password. And finally, we can press the enter or the return key, escape, and the quit. And where is the location of adding the implicit wait? If I scroll up, I have the get, then we can add the implicit wait. It's really simple and straightforward. Just use the implicit wait method, then add the amount of wait inside the parentheses. So this line of the code means hello WebDriver. If you want to find any control and you can't find that, please wait up to 5 seconds. Then check the control every 300 milliseconds to get that. It's really simple and straightforward. And if you can't find it after the 5 seconds, show the error that can't find the element. So let's do it in the action. Come over here and come to this one. If I scroll up over here after the get, I can add the micro, and it is my driver indeed. So this is the WebDriver and the implicit wait. So this is the implicit wait, and inside it, the wait amount first is up to 5 seconds or the 10 seconds. It is based on your network speed or your website. So you can increase or decrease this number. And then let's talk about the next step. In the next step, we need to get the elements one by one. So if I take a look and currently, let's put it over here. Great. Now I need to load the controls, the email, and the password. To prevent any unexpected errors, let's try to check the controls name one more time. The first one, if I take a look, is the email. So you can see the email. And the next one is the password. So we have the similar ID and the password for both of these controls, the email and the password. Now let's come over here and come to my code and uncomment this. As I mentioned previously, currently I assume that you're familiar with my previous tutorial. So this is the email, and don't forget to write the exact name like the website and exactly like this. If I take a look, you need to exactly write the email. Also, you can copy it from here, and also the password. So this is the email, and it is based on the ID. Currently, the ID and the name are similar, so we can use the email for the ID or even for the name. If I select the name, you can do it. So let's leave it by the ID. Then we need to assign this part to another control. For instance, name it the username or the name CTL or the control. This is only the name, so you can write anything that you want. Then let's select this and delete that because I don't need it, and also I can clear everything inside my control, the name control. So at the first step, I need to get the control, then clear the text inside it. Also, we can add any text that I want to that. So let's go over here and say the name control, send keys. Send keys is what? My username. So you can write your username directly inside this, or you can define another variable and use it over here. If I take a look at my code, currently I have the dedicated variables here, one for username and the password. So you can use this or use them directly inside your code. So let's come over here and put it at the top, something like this. It's not necessary to put this code and username password at the top. So for better coding and for better aligning of the code, I prefer to use them at the top of my code, the username and the password. So if I scroll down, I have the username. So this is, where are you? If I take a look, the email, clear, then send keys the username. So this is my username and I send it to my name control. So we are over here and we successfully added the email inside this. Then it's time to use the password. So we need to repeat these steps one more time. And I can come over here and copy this part. So paste over here. The only thing I need changing this one to the password control or the pass control, and change it the next and the next. And also change this one to the password. But don't forget to use the exactly over here. So this is the password. Now I have the password and the pass control and sending the keys over here inside them. Then we need to return. So let's uncomment this, or you can use the submit. Now let's select the pass control and paste over here and send the return key or the enter, and finally sleep up to 20 seconds and quit. Now it's time to run the application, but before doing that, let's check everything from scratch. And currently I have the email over here, and after that I have the password. So I have the send keys and the username. So we need to change this one to the password. And if I take a look, I have the password. So let's select the password over here and say the password. To send the password inside my pass control and the return. So I'll click over here and run. Let's see the result. So this is, let's load it. And after a couple of seconds, so let's see the result, and congratulations, I have successfully logged in inside my Stack Overflow account. Well done. Now what about the next step? In the next step, I want to talk about the explicit wait and how to use it to close the cookies window inside the login page or inside the Stack Overflow web page. I mean this one. It's time consuming, so stay with me. Thanks for your time. Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, I want to talk about how to easily get started working with the second wait in the Selenium, and it is the explicit wait or the conditional wait. And after that, I'm going to talk about how to use it for closing the window, something like the cookies window over here inside the stackoverflow.com. So let's get started. Firstly, I talked about how to work with the implicit wait, and also we talked about the real world example and over here. So we use the implicit wait over here. Now let's talk about the second one. Despite of the implicit wait that is only the fixed number of the delay or the amount of wait, is the explicit wait. Indeed, using the explicit wait, we can add the condition. If the condition is true, do something like this. So the explicit wait is the code you define to wait a certain condition to be true before executing the remaining code. We can use the explicit wait to add the condition to the delay or to the wait in the Selenium. So if I take a look at my code over here, and you can see something like this. At the beginning, after adding the implicit wait over here, we can add another one to get access, for instance, to the accept button. Suppose we want to close this window, and you can see the window over here, and I want to click on the accept button. So we can add the condition to be completed, the loading of this window and also this button. Then we can check if this button is clickable or not. And if it's true, so click on this button by the Selenium code and close this window. So if I take a look at the code over here, the structure is really simple. Just use the XPath to get the accept button. I talk about this, so don't worry about that. Then get the component or the element. So this is indeed this button. If I take a look at my example, this. So currently we have the button and it is the accept button. We can easily add another condition. So this is the condition. If the element is clickable, which element? The accept button. So this is my condition that I want to add it to my explicit wait. Then we need to use the my UI, and the UI is indeed inside the Selenium WebDriver support.ui. Also, my condition is inside the WebDriver support expected conditions, and you can see the my condition its name over here. Now I have the condition and also the UI, so I can add the WebDriver wait and the wait for my Chrome up to 20 seconds. So this part means, hello driver, please try and check this condition up to 20 seconds if it's true or not until this condition, and after that click on, indeed this is the button, and click on the button. So after running this one of the code, the result is clicking on the accept button. But the Selenium waits until loading of this window to be completed, then wait until loading of this button, and also wait until this button can be clickable. Then click on that and close this window after clicking on the button. All of these are inside this line of the code, indeed this part. So let's check it from scratch. This line means, hello Python, please add the wait inside my Chrome driver up to 20 seconds. And check if this condition is true. Which condition? This condition, until my accept button can be clickable. And the can be clickable means that the loading of this button is completed and I can click on this. And if the condition is true, so click on this. So you can see the click method over here to click on the button after its loading is completed. Then the remaining code will be executed after all of this. So it's time to use it in the real world project, but before that we need to learn another matter, and it is the XPath or something like this, the XPath. Then use it to get the element, in this example, this button indeed. It's time consuming, so let's talk about it in next and upcoming tutorial. Stay with me. Thanks for your time. Hey everybody, welcome back. In this video, I want to talk about how to start working with the XPath to get the element or the control within my web page. So let's get started. First, I talked about how to search the element using the find element and also the search type, for instance, by the name, the ID, and so on. In this video, I want to talk about another method or the search type, and it is the XPath. So we can easily use the XPath to get the controls like this button inside another window. And don't forget, this is another kind of searching the element. So we can use it widely inside another window, something like this, and we can use it to get access to this button directly without any problem. So let's do it. If I take a look at this example, right click over here and come to the inspect and set the inspector location to the right or the left, no matter, currently it is over here. You can use the button or the right. Now let's come over here, and if I take a look, click on this and come to this button. So select this button. And as you see over here, I have the button, and if I take a look at the properties, so it has the class name, the text inside it. In this condition, if I take a look, I haven't any kind of the name. In this condition, I can easily use the XPath. The XPath indeed is the address from the beginning of your HTML up to your control. It is a kind of address in the real world that includes the city name, the country, the street, the city up to the end. So if I right click on the button for instance, then I have the copy. Copy what? Copy the elements up to the end. We have two types of the XPath. Copy XPath and the copy full path. So we can use the copy XPath or the copy full XPath. So if I take a look at this button, it is inside the div. The div is the division or a kind of separator. That currently if I select the div, so it is the division or the holder for both of these controls, and you can see. And the div is inside another division, or if I take a look, if I come up, so it is inside this div, as you see here. So it is this division or the entire window. Then this div is inside another control or the element, and it is the body. And the body is inside the HTML. So the HTML is the root element or the root component or the control. And inside it, I have the body that holds all of this page. So you can see the body that is inside the HTML. Then the body has all of these controls. If I hover, you can see all of them. And inside that, I have the division. So this is the division that holds all of these controls. And if I come down, so I have another one, and this div class that holds all of the controls inside this window. And inside it, I have another division that holds both of these buttons. And if I take a look, I have the button. So this is my first button and the second button. So all of these are like the children and parent. So this is the control and it is the child. Then this is the parent, and this is the grandparent, and the next one is grand-grandparent, and this one is grand-grand-grandparent, and finally this is the root or the ancestor of these controls. So in the Selenium we can get access to the control using the XPath. We can call this relation from the child to the parent or the root as the XPath, or the address of the control. So if I select the button, and you can see the button over here into this button, right click on that, come to the copy and the copy path. So copy this and come over here and open up the notepad, for instance, this is, and paste inside that. So I have the HTML exactly like this. Let's resize it, the HTML. Then I have the body, and this is the body. Then the div and the div number 4, for instance. So I have the div, then I have another div, then I have the button 1. So this is the button 1. And this is the XPath of the button that we can use it to find it inside my HTML. And also I have the second method. So come over here and select the copy and the copy full path. Sometimes both of these are similar or even the different. Let's see, copy full path. And if I come over here and come to this, currently both of these are identical and similar. This is not important matter, and personally I prefer to use the simple one, copy, then the copy X path. So if I take a look at my codes over here and come to this, after loading the driver, so this is the web driver. If I take a look over here, the implicit weight, then I can use this code to locate my button. At the first, I defined the variable for the path of what? Path of my button or the accept button. Then use the find element, like my previous tutorial, like this, to find the element, but we need to change the search type to the XPath, add comma, and assign the button XPath. And indeed this one. Then the result is my accept button that I can click on that using the explicit weight. Later I'll talk about this part. So in this video I want to talk about how to get the button using the XPath. So let's do it. Now let's come over here and copy this part, and also I can copy this part to add some separation. Come to my code, and here after the implicit weight, exactly here. So it's time to write the code to find my button using the XPath and say accept button XPath equals to what? It is a string. So I can come over here one more time, select this, and copy the XPath and get inside the code over here exactly. Now I have the XPath, and if you have some double quotations here inside the XPath, don't hesitate to change this to the single quotation. Then you can include the double quotations over here inside your XPath. So the double quotations and the single quotations are similar because this is only the string. Now it's time to use the find element to find the button. It's really simple, and the only thing I need is copy this part to start my tutorial. It is only the find element and search type by what? By the next option. Till now we talked about the name and ID, so I have the XPath and also the class, the CSS up to the end. So let's talk about the XPath. And after that we need to assign the XPath of what? Over here exactly. So let's select this and the accept button path indeed over here. Now the result is my button or the accept button. So I can come to this and say accept button over here. And don't forget, this is only the name, so you can write anything that you want. Now I have the accept button that is generated and is found by the XPath. So by this one. And come over here at the breakpoint, right click and debug. I want to get inside the code and look deeply inside my code. So debug and let's be patient. After a couple of seconds, so it's time and let's be patient. Now this is and come to the next line. Currently I have the X button path, so you can search over here or even you can hover on this and see the result. So come to the next line using the step over or F8. So this is. Now I have the accept button. So you can see the accept button over here. And if I expand that, so this is the ID and also the location, the parent up to the end. So the text is accept all cookies. And if I take a look over here, accept all cookies. And also all the properties of this button is accessible over here. So you can see the size and also the rectangle, the parent location up to the end. So if I come to this and unchecked and also stop, so come over here and let's write the wrong matter, for instance, something like this. Now let's check and come over here, also come to this and debug. Let's see the reaction of the Python for the wrong XPath. So this is, now it's over here and come to the next line. So click over here and nothing happened. So this is the result after a couple of seconds. And this time I haven't any accept button. So if I come to the next one more time, so I have the exception and you can see no such element exception, no such element unable to locate the elements over here. It means that I have the exception over here and the Python can't find something like this button or the control inside the HTML because the XPath is not correct. So if I take a look at the console, I have something like these errors over here. Okay, excellent, congratulations. Now let's stop and undo my code so it looks better. And currently we learned how to find and get the button and the controls using the XPath. So what about the next step? In the next step, I'm going to show you how to use the accept button and add the explicit wait using the condition and the UI. It's time consuming, so stay with me. Thanks for your time. Hey everybody, welcome back. In this video, I want to talk about how to easily continue using the explicit wait to close the cookies window in the Stack Overflow, this window. Then click on the accept all cookies button. So let's get started. Previously, I talked about how to enter the email and also the password and click on the login. And also we talked about how to get the XPath of this button. So we are over here. Indeed, we have the accept button and we can start working with it. So it's time to add the condition to my codes as I mentioned. For better and deeper understanding, let's take a quick look at the codes over here. If I check it and scroll down, currently we are over here and we talked about all of this. At the beginning, we need to add the condition. As I mentioned previously, the explicit wait means the conditional wait. So this is the conditional wait. And if we want to execute some codes and some other codes, we can add the condition. Then if the condition is true, so we can execute other conditions, something like the click. So at the beginning, we need to define the condition. This is my condition, and it is the my condition. And what is the my condition? It is inside the Selenium, the WebDriver, the support, and expected conditions. Then define the name for that. And after importing this library, we can easily use the my condition, then add dot, and inside it I have the element to be clickable. And what about the duty and usage of this method? The element to be clickable means hello Python and hello, for instance, the Selenium. Please check the control or the element that is loaded completely, and also it can be clickable, so I can click on that, something like this. So if I take a look at the code one more time, then this can be true if the loading is completed and also it is clickable. And we can assign this to another object, and it is the condition over here. Now I have the condition and I can use it using the UI to continue and add the explicit wait. So let's use the first step, and it is inserting the library. And it is the Selenium WebDriver support expected conditions and the name. Let's do it in the action over here. And personally, I prefer to add it over here and say import. And this is Selenium. This is my Selenium dot WebDriver. This is then the support. So this is my support. Great. And the expected conditions. This is. And name it versus my condition. Or my conditions is not important matter. Now I have the my condition, and it's time to create the condition for what? For this button to be clickable. So I can say my condition. This is my condition. Add dot, and over here I have a list of available methods and properties for working with the condition. And as I mentioned, we need to use the specific one, and it is element to be clickable. So come over here and add dot. So the element can be clickable or to be clickable. You can set over here, and also the element attribute to include located selection. The selection is set to be up to here. And also we can work with the invisibility of element and check if it's visible or not. And also up to the end. We can use all of this. But my favorite one in this example is element to be clickable. So this is, and the next is that we need to assign the elements that we want to check if it's clickable or not. And it is the accept button. So this is, and paste it inside this. So if I hover on the clickable, and let's be patient. So I have more information about it, and you can see checking an element is visible and enabled, such that you can click on it. So it checks two matters. First, it is visible, and also it is enabled. Then we can click on it. So let's see. Now I have the condition, and I can easily assign it to another one, and for instance the condition itself or any name that you want. So come over here and assign this one to the condition, and this is, and currently I have created the condition. So what about the next step? In the next step we need to define the explicit wait using the my UI. What is the my UI? It is indeed inside the Selenium WebDriver support and the UI. So we name it my UI. And if I take a look at this, inside the my UI or the UI inside the support, we have the WebDriver wait. And it means hello WebDriver, please add up to 20 seconds wait, or please wait until 20 seconds. Then check my condition and check if my element or button is visible and clickable. Then if it's true, indeed this, So click on it. Click on what? And this is a kind of button, and click on the button. So let's do it in the action. And let's start working with the import from here. Then use the WebDriver wait. So let's come over here and let's start working with the import and say import. This is in the Selenium add dot WebDriver, then the support and add dot. First, I talked about the expected conditions inside this. So I have the UI, another method, and the library inside it. And name it, for instance, my UI. So this is my UI, and it's time to use it where after creating the condition. So I can say my and the UI dot what the WebDriver wait. You can see it over here. It is too important, so click on that. And if I hover on the WebDriver wait, let's be patient. So you can see more information about it over here. And also you can see it needs the element and all that matters. So if I hover on the WebDriver wait, I can see more information about it over here. So the WebDriver needs the driver and also the waiting time based on the seconds, then until and the condition, and finally we can use it. So let's come over here, add parentheses, and inside it we need to use the driver. So you can see the driver over here and also the timeout. So let's do it, and my driver means this one, my Chrome. So this is my Chrome or my driver, add comma, then I have the timeout. So we want to check, for instance, up to 20 seconds for loading of the website or the web page. Indeed, for loading of this window and also this button, because I want to check this button, and this button is inside this window. So loading of this button means that loading of this window is completed. So let's go over here. And also we have all the matters like the frequency and the ignored exception, but I don't want to talk about all of this. So this is really great, and come over here. And after this add dot, and indeed we need to use the condition to be completed or to be true. So this is the until what? Until my condition. If I take a look at my code over here, you can see I'm using the condition inside my until. Then the driver will wait up to 20 seconds and check this condition to be true. Finally, click on the button. Which button? The condition and also the accept button. So come over here, and until my condition, this is the condition. So let's write the condition, this is. And finally, if the condition is true, add dot. And inside it, we can use the click. So this is the click. Let's write the click. If you can't see the click, don't worry. Just write the dot and the click. Now everything is done, and I have successfully added my first explicit wait and explicit delay on the Selenium. So it's done, and currently I'm over here. So in the next and the remaining codes, I'm going to check the username and password and set the values to them, and finally a sleep and the quit. So let's set the results. Come over here. And for better using and the results, let's increase this number up to 20 or 30, no matter, or 25 seconds. So let's come over here and run. Let's see the results. So it's loading and it's closed, and also it's logged completely and successfully. Well done, and really I'm happy that I could successfully add my first condition using the explicit wait. Welcome back. Now my mission accomplished successfully, and I'm really happy that I could use the Selenium to load the Stack Overflow website and also log in inside it. And don't forget, if you want to be successful and professional programmer, you should be genius. And if you got any unexpected errors that I didn't cover during this tutorial, it means don't be disappointed. Just try and do your best. And I strongly recommend you to watch this video tutorial multiple times. Then you're gonna be the great and amazing Python programmer. With the best wishes. Thanks for your time.